Hello everyone. Today what I would like to talk about it is how to stop the war. Why?
88-year-old Vera walked out armed with her canes and fired off an epic tirade of verbal artillery.
Ну, я виходжу, прямо з тої кухні, Господи, прости. Та й кажу, вибачайте за слово, що я треба відбирати. Та йоп твою мать, кажу, то це що Путін, той здурів, чи що, кажу. Застрілили дитину, це що такі попалися хороші. Кажу, то вже, блядь, той Путін здурів. Та сука він, та здохне він знову. Кажу, діти, куди ви прийшли? А так я й кажу їм.
I ask if they're worried the Russians will return to seek revenge. They tell me they're not going anywhere.
What I hear so far is statistics, how bad they are, how brave they are, who is winning or who is losing. What we know so far, after 2 months of war, there is definitely only one person, for sure, who won the war. This is President Vladimir Putin. No one else. He used propaganda, he lies his own people, he drags his own soldiers to carry on with his war. What he wanted to achieve by shooting civilians convinced everyone that he is very serious, very tough, and if any country will try to help, will suffer the same consequences. I am wondering what he was thinking by then when he was making that decisions. If he want to win, he need to convince everyone, and to do that, he need to use very brutal method. There is no more brutal method than killing civilians, so everyone around definitely gonna be scared, and no one will help, especially if many of others need his resources. What he didn't expect, and I think this is his biggest mistakes, is sanctions, and that they would want to bring him to trial for war crimes. Those two things are enough to end the war, but they must be well understood and wisely used, because there is a pretty good chance to end up this war. People in Russia need to understand very well that the not military operation is carried on in Ukraine, only very serious brutal war. A war in which war crimes were committed and for which they must be held accountable, not only President of Russia, but every Russian soldier who killed civilians. Only complete sanctions will let Russians understand that the world is demanding justice from them. So several conditions need to be met. First one is message to NATO. Only total solidarity between the people of Europe and the world can help. What is the significance of fact that you still take resources from Russia? You are weak and dependent. They still getting 800 million euros every day. That money helps a lot to gain Ukraine. So stop taking the resources now and help those countries who needed them first. Okay? Forget about Russia immediately. Russian soldiers need to understand that Putin doesn't have money to pay them. This is the one important thing. Second important thing is that Russian people will understand that Europe and the world is united. You cannot show the weakness. You know that only total solidarity that is key to get advantage. But what we know so far is many ships from Russia going to Europe with oil. And we know that you're still taking the gas from Russia. So where is the total solidarity? How long you want to wait before it's too late? What for you waiting? Just stop the gas and that's it. People in Ukraine, they doesn't have roofs over their head, they doesn't have water, they doesn't have food, and you are afraid about the gas. You can cook on electricity, okay? And that's it. Simple as that. So stop using the gas now. No more money to Russia. Is that difficult to understand? NATO is afraid to sending the weapons, planes, tanks to not escalate the war. Ukraine people have their own planes, they have tanks. I tell you what, you can send many as you like, but to avoid escalating of the war, you have to forget about European or American insignia. What we have to do is to mark them as Ukraine planes and tanks. So if President Putin gonna ask what's going on, why they have so many planes and why they have so many tanks, where they come from, he gonna accuse you for helping. So to avoid that, you send them with the Ukrainian insignia and say to Vladimir, look, there are no own planes. They're Ukrainian planes. They're Ukrainian tanks. We have nothing to do with that. Is he gonna find out if he not gonna even bother to take a body of the dead soldiers? Oh, he cannot prove anything. So send it much as you want. Vladimir Putin is a very clever man and he used that method in 2014. This is not my idea. He is clever. He used before. Now learn something from him. Use his own methods to get some advantage. What President Zelensky can do? He needs to destroy Russian propaganda. The Russian people need to know the truth as soon as possible. What else the Russian people need to know? That there are not Nazis in Ukraine, that Putin don't care about his own people, only about his own ambitions, beginning from Petersburg, where was not food on the shelves in the shops long time ago. If you want to know the details that the food was arranged, 124 million was spent to bring the food to Russian people. And what happened? Not even 1 gram was supplied, but new villa in Spain was built for President Putin.
Молока сухого 2000 тонн. Значит, это фактически перекрывает все наши потребности.
Most of the promised food never arrived.
Details I'll tell you from this document signed by Putin. All 124 million disappeared without a trace.
So
2.5 billion rubles were transferred to the company's account.
Money was siphoned off by Putin and his friends to build vacation villas in Spain.
And Putin should have been jailed and would be in jail, undoubtedly.
Do you know that President Putin was born in Petersburg and no respect for his own people? Not sentiment at all. Now, during the war, what kind of respect he got for his own soldiers? Is he allowed to bury dead body soldiers respectfully, or he left their body to rot?
Broken pontoon bridges which the Russians had built to cross the Donets River hold out in Luhansk, part of the Donbass. Those Russian vehicles, some already in the river, being attacked on all sides. Russian soldiers are seen jumping from the top of their armoured vehicle into the water to escape.
Is any Russian soldiers goes voluntarily, or if they say no, it's a ball in the head. They could be killed on the front line. They could be killed by their own generals. I would like to go to the point where Russian soldiers who doesn't want to go to war, they doesn't have a choice. Okay, so I would like you to know that you're supposed to create some kind of opportunity for them to have a choice to stop shooting. How that could be achieved? It's first of all, NATO and President Zelensky need to talk to the Russian people and to the Russian soldiers. That the Russian soldiers will be brought to justice. So, who can help them? Only NATO and President Zelensky can help them by offering that opportunity that they can surrender without worry. They need to have some kind of asylum. They need to know that they're gonna be safe. First of all, they need to understand that situation that they gonna be jailed for life or for many years if they carry on with the war, because they committed the war crimes. They killing the civilians and they thinking they gonna be protected by their own government. But they need to understand that the government will be finished soon. President Putin is sick. He got probably cancer or Alzheimer. Anyway, he not gonna live long. They need to know that if he die, the young people will spend the rest of their life in the jail. So what for? What is the best option for them? If they fighting for money and their body are left to rotten, so President Putin doesn't know if they are disappear by being shot, or they disappear from the front line by surrounding. So just Russian people, I would like you to think properly. Your president is not gonna be longer president. Your government is finished. Okay? Your soldiers gonna be jailed for life. So what is the option to do? Ukrainian people, they're not gonna stop. Russian soldiers, you are just used, and no one cares about you. President Putin doesn't care about you. So if he doesn't care about you, but you have a contract and you're getting money, if you disappear from the front line by surrender, white flag on the top of the tank is needed. If you surrender, you save your own life. You can go back sooner or later to your country, to your family. You need to have protection from NATO, guarantee for your life by President Zelensky. And I think President Zelensky needs to tell them that every day that they're not gonna surrender and they're gonna push the army out of his country, and sooner is better. That's why NATO needs to supply everything they have. Planes, tanks. Stronger you are, more strength you show, all sanctions will work. And the sanctions could be stopped only when the world will get the justice. So don't be afraid that President Putin is gonna use a nuclear weapon, because if he use only one, then you can cover all Russia with nuclear weapons. But so far, what we know, he doesn't say there is a war. He's saying that's only military operation. So if Russian people are gonna be covered by nuclear weapons, then Russia will think that is not military operation and our president was lying. So don't worry about them. Don't worry about a nuclear weapon, because that is not an option. Think about it. Think logically. Do you think President Putin started this war and he wanted to be covered by nuclear weapons? I don't think so. He wants to gain Ukraine. That's his plan. Okay, so basically you need to offer Russian soldiers security outside Russia. They need to understand that this is the best option for them, not for the war, for them, for their own soldiers. The soldier who's sitting in the tank right now and thinking, oh, I gonna shot and I gonna this is what you're earning right now is jail. And if you carry on, every day you have a chance to get killed. So if you disappear, you're gonna get paid by Russian. You're gonna save your life because you don't need the war. You don't need to die. You can enjoy your life in Russia. And this is only good opportunity for Russian people. And I think you have to use it. I think you will understand when the sanction will work. And I think you will understand this sooner than later. I'm not against Russian people. I try to understand everyone. And I think you have to understand their situation. Because they know fighting for their own country. They know fighting for the families. They need to know that. They need to understand this now. Every day of the war is not worthy for them. It's not worthy for them at all. They need to think about their own lives. They won't be killed or they won't spend their life in the jail. It's their choice. The most important thing is no point to talk to President Putin. You know that. If he doesn't care about his own people, he just wants to send more soldiers and more soldiers and more soldiers. Doesn't matter how many soldiers. He wants to get Ukraine, and that's his point. So, get the planes, get the tanks, get everything you need as soon as possible. Send everything you got. Kick the Russians out from Ukraine and do it quickly. If you show your strength, the soldiers will surround it. You need to give them opportunity to be safe. If you're not gonna talk about it, then only you're gonna lose many soldiers on both sides, and that is not necessary. So talk about it. Tell them, President Zelensky, talk to them every day. I can talk to the Russian soldiers first. У меня есть несколько слов для русских солдат. Посмотрите на своих коллег на внимание.
Десантно-штурмовой бригады.
Служу России.
Поставленную задачу выполнили на все 100%, отдали долг сполна, за что вам, конечно же, честь и хвала.
Эти солдаты потеряли ноги и получают медали. И очень хорошо. А где медали zapogiewszych wojnах. Za nie to, że должны быть медали, а их нет и не будет. А почему? А потому, что нет уважения к героям. Они мертвы и больше не будут способствовать победе. Ваши жены и ваши дети не могут похоронить вас с уважением. Могут ли ваши тела гнить? Вам русским хорошо с ним? Я бы не хотел драться за такого лидера, потому что настоящий лидер уважает своих солдат и их семьи. У вас нет такого лидера и никогда не было. Ты помнишь Петербург? Бедности тогда было столько, что на полках в лавке ничего не осталось. И были деньги для вас. 124 миллиона. Вы ни грамма не получили, а в Испании вашему царю виллу построили. И всегда был только он, и все для него. Вы хотите воевать за свои семьи или за царя? У него рак или болезнь Альцхаймера. У него все равно. А вам, русским солдатам, война не нужна. Ваш царь торопится, потому что он умирает. Он будет драться, пока не умрет. Но ты, русский солдат, не должен умирать. Можно умирать за семью и детей, но не за царя. Что он скажет, если вы спросите, можешь ли не драться? Он вам скажет 15 лет, трудно или пуля в голову. Так вам скажет. Тогда ты поймешь, что ты не свободный человек, а его раб. Ты поймешь, что он обычный бандит. А ты не солдат, а убийца. Настоящий солдат защищает свою родину, а не нападает. Украинцы – настоящие солдаты, не такие, как вы. Они защищают свою землю и свою семью. Вся Европа и Америка помогают украинцам. Русские, если вы настоящие солдаты, если ты любишь свою страну, свою семью и детей, а не царя, тогда перестаньте стрелять в невинных людей. Покажите белые флаги в знак мира. Это не позор, а настоящий геройский поступок. Это единственный способ освободиться от царя. Будь героями, а не убийцами. Не тратьте свою жизнь напрасно. Никто не назовет вас трусами. Помните, что белый флаг – это знак мира. Помните тоже, что 15 лет тюрьмы будет ждать на вас после войны. Что подумайте, что вы делаете? Как так подумайте и подумайте, то зрозумійте jedno. Нахуй нам та война? И все. Пока.
The head of the World Food Program made a direct appeal to President Putin to let Ukraine export its grain for the sake of global food security.
It is absolutely essential that we allow these ports to open, because this is not just about Ukraine. This is about the poorest of the poor around the world who are on the brink of starvation as we speak. So I ask President Putin, if you have any heart at all, to please open these ports.
Putin has no heart, no respect for people. This is the incarnation of ruthless Satan. NATO took a long time hesitate with help, and this is the consequences. NATO leaders don't have the guts to properly help because they such a sweet pussy. Respect for the President of America, Mr. Joe is cool. NATO, don't hesitate any longer. If you are afraid to help officially, do it informally, but you have to help. There is no other option. I have one weapon, but not against Putin, only COVID. Look at the previous videos, then you will understand. How COVID has not disappeared, but thanks to Putin, you forgot about him. The COVID will mutate and attack again, more effectively than Putin. This is my invention, able to help with the war with Putin? Absolutely. You know, my grandma always said,
don't hold the gases, because the suspended one rises up straight to your brain, and this is where crazy idea come from, such as Brexit or stupid war.
If President Putin had such an invention, there would be no war. So in order to be resourceful and make reasonable and wise decision, you need to have such an invention. Help Sweden and Finland to join NATO. If Turkey is against it, it may be necessary to think about excluding it from NATO. Why can they feel safe and others not? Maybe it's a time to think about changing the president of Turkey, the president of Russia, and bringing order. Such as small changes would definitely help many people to live better and safer. The sanctions will force Russians to change the government. You will help many people. It's a big country. Don't miss the chance. Greed and fear allowed this world. There is enough money for everyone in this world. The gross poverty in the world and in Russia is only selfish actions of governments. Russians, if you want to have a better life, you must turn your president to justice. You will be afraid, but sanction will motivate you. Nobody is against you, only against your government. Changing the government is enough. Remember to choose your new government wisely. And remember one thing. Power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and corrupt the best. Power is only given to them who prepare lower themselves to pick it up. The President of Russia is the best example of this. A link for a better future and wise decision making can be found in the description below. Sorry for talking to you so late. I know it's 3 months of war already, but I have a lot of work and no time to record videos on YouTube.
Sandra from Norway has already joined the Ukrainian army. They refer me to her. The life she depicts on social media, she trained as a combat medic. Now, she says, she's on the front line.
First of all, it's the moral obligation. This is home base, it's in Europe. We owe them, so if you can help, you should. Well, it is what it is. It's your job, it's what you have to do. So it's the one who fires first. That's how it goes. We're not the attackers, we are the defenders. We are not the one crossing any borders, they did.
Sandra, who's been at the front for quite some time, is still there and determined to stay.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bombing, left, right, and above. Everywhere. You can get used to anything, including bombing.
When do you think will you be back home?
I will be back when this war is over. When there's no more need for me here, then I will go home.
How do you reflect on freedom these days?
Gosh, freedom is just so precious, you know, like only when it's taken away from you do you really understand its value and what it means. And
Kylie Moore Gilbert survived an astonishing 804 days of hell in Iran. That she made it out intact is a mark of her incredible courage and resilience. The prisoner who never gave up hope of freedom, grateful for her second chance at life.